George Vollman is the automotive insider from Vollman Ford on I-96 in the cool city of Portland, just a little bit west of Lansing, a little bit east of Grand Rapids. You just drive over or visit online at theautomotiveinsider.com or VollmanFord.com. But before we get to George here, State Senator Jason Allen, I know you're a great outdoorsman in northern Michigan.
Northern Michigan outdoors.
Got another story to tell you about. 17-year-old Jessica Olmstead of Harper Creek, Michigan.
Okay.
She was in Canada, and she was hunting. She came 15 yards away from a black bear, 448-pounder.
That is a very large bear. I think Boone and Crockett would be in that level, which is sort of the rating of bears based on skull size.
Is that what it is? So that's a monster, huh?
That is a monster. Someplace around 475 to 535 for a black bear is usually considered a fairly big trophy-size black bear.
Now, we can presume this is a high school girl. This bear has to be 4 times her size at least.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So you know what she did?
I would have hoped that she either shot or ran, because you're not going to stay standard for that.
I can tell you what I would have done. And I can tell you what I would have been doing while I was doing it.
Does that relate to pants?
Yeah.
Okay.
And bear meat is actually wonderful. We've had Al over for dinner. And,
Really?
And, Wayne's had some, too. And
You have? What does it taste like?
It's good.
Don't say chicken.
It's a sweet meat.
No.
Yeah?
And it has a very, it doesn't have a gamey flavor if the steaks are done similar to what you do a beef steak and you marinate them.
Lobster, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's the lobster. So
Is it? No, do you put it on the grill just like a steak?
there's 2 different ways you can grill it, and marinating to take a slight amount of the game flavor out of it. Or what I've done is that I've broiled it in the oven with a combination of some wine and some northern Michigan wine,
Of course.
and some mushrooms.
Wow. So
Delicious.
you've bagged a bear before?
Yes, if you ever stop by my office, I've got it weighed in about 285
Wow.
hanging in my office.
How far away were you?
I'd say about 30 yards. I
Yeah.
was in armor, so I shot it and made it one round and
Wow. Well, this little girl pulled out her bow and arrow.
Oh
and,
my gosh!
And dropped the bear.
Well, that
Isn't that
is
something?
very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like a modern day Sarah
I
Palin.
agree with you. Yeah, it's very impressive.
And she talked too that she caught a 20-pound salmon in Lake Michigan near Holland this summer. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Too? So I thought you'd appreciate that
That's
story.
very good.
We'll reach out to her. She's our Northwood University Leader of the Day. Northwood University celebrating 50 years of producing leaders. 17-year-old Jessica Olmstead shot a bear at 15 yards range with a bow and arrow. Real quickly, there was no good news for Pure Michigan this week, right?
No good news. We have a recognition by both gubernatorial candidates, so we have to come up with long-term funding. The angst is that how are you going to do this funding mechanism? Obviously, the TIF district is probably the best long-term strategy because it looks at the growth of tourism.
Nothing will happen in Lame Duck then?
I wouldn't rule that out. A lot will depend on what the puffs of smoke will be coming out of the leader and the speaker's office.
Okay.
But it's very important. Wayne's got a lot of the same concerns.
Do you? Obviously. You're going to carry the banner for this now, aren't you, being from northern Michigan?
I have been working with Jason. Of course, was in the hospitality industry for a long time up north and in Chicago, so it's one of my main focuses.
All right. Are the leaves changing yet in Traverse City?
Just starting.
Just starting to.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend.
Absolutely.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Pack of fleece, though. It's going to be a little cool in the low 60s.
Pure
A
Michigan.
little tang in the air. You know?
Yes, it's coming.
Autumn is coming.
Yeah, well, it's the first weekend of October.
Yep.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that very much. George Vollman was listening in there. President Barack Obama signed that $42 billion small business bill on Monday. The governor was there. Senator Carl Levin was there. And the talk is that this is going to be really good for auto dealers, small businessmen in their own right, just like you are, George. Are you excited, encouraged, or doesn't it really matter to you?
Well, it's amazing because, as you know, my partner was in yesterday, and we actually read through what that bill would do for floor planning of automobiles, which is primarily what the new car dealers would use it for.
Yeah.
And he said the paperwork is outrageous. He says there's no point in even doing this.
Really? Why?
Yeah, so,
it's too complicated?
It absolutely. And we didn't get into all of it. He just read the blurb through it, and he knows an awful lot about how these loans work. He just says, look, we'll just stay with the captive financing, and we'll just grin and bear it and go through it. And if he's made that quick analysis, I would imagine that, guess what? Every other car dealer is doing the same thing, and they're basically saying, I'm going to take a pass. and move on. And I mean, the one big thing on the floor planning thing with the government is that the government's going to guarantee your floor plan. Well, most of us run our businesses so that if we had to liquidate our cars for whatever reason, we could do that without a problem. And so that's really not a draw. So those two issues there, the paperwork and the guarantee, which really isn't a guarantee, is really not anything to make us want to go through those hoops.
What does that mean, they're going to guarantee your floor plan?
That means, let's say, for instance, if a dealer goes out of business and the government's guaranteeing them, they take those cars down to wherever, to auction them off, and whatever they don't bring, boom. But right now, I mean, I'm out buying truckloads of new cars because I can't get enough from Ford.
No kidding. So business must be good.
So, that's kind of, so, the timing, maybe 2 years ago, the timing would have been a little bit better for this, but you know how Congress works. It works a little slow.
So business must be good if you can't get enough new product from Ford and you're buying cars at auctions, eh?
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is that we are now, and I'm not speaking out of turn here, every dealer that I know that's in the used car business is sourcing cars all over the United States right now. It's the only way we can get them.
Hang with us for just a minute. George Vollman, the automotive insider from Vollman Ford. We're going to talk about the Chevy Volt and your business. As soon as we get back, it's Michael Patrick Shields. Bill Rogers is here, too. Stand by.